What's up, guys? Right here on another episode of Margo's Back at It Again. Measurement tools are necessary in order to ensure the products made are accurate and serve their intended purpose. So for today's episode, we will be exploring calipers. Well, there's various kinds of calipers out there, but for now, we will be discussing spring joint calipers. Spring joint calipers have legs pivoted on a roller, and the legs are tensioned by a strong bowstring. The adjustments for measuring can be done by adjusting the knot, which will either open or close the legs depending on the direction of rotation. So there are two types of spring joint calipers, the inside and the outside calipers. With inside calipers, one is able to measure the internal sizes or in between spaces of an object. Compared to vernier calipers, inside calipers are useful in measuring the diameter of deeper holes, as vernier calipers cannot reach the deepest part or the surface of the hole. Let us take the test object and try to use the inside caliper to measure a certain dimension. We see that it is an inside dimension. Given the structure of outside calipers will not fit in to measure this dimension. So let us try using the inside caliper. When the adjusting screw is screwed tight, the space between the legs is really small. Now, slowly unscrew or rather rotate the adjusting screw the opposite way such that the legs spread wide apart. Stop unscrewing them when the legs have reached the edges of the dimension that you wish to measure. While doing so, make sure that the legs are not spread too far apart, but loose enough that the caliper slides out easily and not cause vibrations of the object. After confirming that, slide out the inside caliper and compare it against the measurements on the steel ruler. Make sure to consider the dimensions of the legs themselves as part of the measurement. This is a necessary step as spring joint calipers do not have a scale. On the other hand, the outside caliper can be used to measure the external sizes, dimensions, thickness, or diameter of an object. Unlike inside calipers, outside calipers are usually used for larger dimensions or edges that are not blocked by another edge. The outside caliper has the same mechanism as the inside caliper, such that the adjusting screws are used to spread or close the legs apart. In the case of outside calipers, make sure that the legs touch the edges of the segment of an object that you wish to measure. Similar to inside calipers, make sure that it is not too tight such that the sliding it out would not cause any vibration. After sliding it out, take the outside caliper and measure it against a steel ruler. Unlike inside calipers, where the dimensions of the legs are part of the measurement, one would not have to take into consideration the dimensions of the legs of the outside caliper, rather only the edges of the leg as a reference of the start and end point of the measured dimension. Besides measuring and reading error, other possible sources of error would involve human error, as the dimensions obtained may not necessarily be found on the steel ruler. By that I mean it is possible to get measurements ending with 0.35 cm or 0.39 cm and whatnot, yet only 0.30 and 0.40 exist on the ruler and no further in-betweens. Another possible source of error would be bit conditions, as the workpiece and measuring equipment are affected by temperature variation. Another will be catastrophic errors, which includes misreading an instrument, manipulation error, operator's bias, and arithmetic errors. As for handing calipers, make sure to select the caliper that best fits the application, and do not apply excessive force to the caliper. Be careful not to damage the inside measuring jaws, and wipe off any dust from the caliper before use. After use, make sure to wipe the dirt and fingerprints from the caliper with a soft, dry cloth. Do not place the caliper directly on the floor.